Good evening, customers of Knowhere Games and Comics. It's me, Matthias, and the wonderful Richard Rebello, who never talks. And we're here to talk about the comics that will be on Final Order Cutoff this Monday, November 4th. For those of you unfamiliar with Final Order Cutoff, this is something that we as comic retailers get to deal with every Monday, and it's our last chance to adjust order numbers for comic books that are coming out in 3 weeks, which this time will be the comics coming out on November 27th. Now, this is a perfect time for you guys to watch this and get in your orders for any comic books that you want coming out in 3 weeks. Because if you get us these orders by 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Monday, we can make sure to get you any quantity or covers that you want. Say you want the B cover of the upcoming Batman Beyond number 38, and you want 20 copies of it. I actually have a customer who's asking for just that. We can make sure that you get those, because we are going to be the people setting the print run for the major publishers like Marvel and DC. So now is the perfect time to come in, give us a phone call, leave a comment in the comment section, or message us on Facebook or email knowheregamesandcomics@gmail.com with a list of any of the comics that are on Final Order Cutoff that you want added to your pull or set aside specifically for you on November 27th. The other big thing I will point out, we are viewing all of the comics that are on Final Order Cutoff on a website, previewsworld.com/finalordersdue. We will make sure to have a comment in the comment section with a link to that website posted shortly. I'm sure either Ken or George will probably get to that before we even get off our live video feed. So you can click on that and follow along with us and see all of the cover options as well as all of the comics on Final Order Cutoff that Monday. And then, like I said, just get us a message before Monday at 8 p.m. Give us a call, worst case scenario, and we will make sure those are ordered for you. Anything you want to add, Richard? Exactly. That's how I like them. And thank you. Yes, it is now posted in the comments so you can see that. Oh, wow. We got both George and Ken at the same time, back to back.
Hi, Caesar.
Yeah, hey, Cesar. So, all right. Now, with that all said, let's dive into it. And as we've got Richard talking, where do you want to start?
Boom Studios.
Oh, like we do every week.
Yep. Start at the top.
All right. So, one of the big things I want to point out that is actually kind of exciting, I believe it's this week, we're going to have Folk Lords number 1, a new comic series coming out, and I am super excited about this series. The second printing is on FOC, though, because we've already sold out the first printing at the distributor level. Now, that means we'll still have copies for those of you coming in as Wednesday Warriors, but if you want the alternate art cover, which is actually rather beautiful on the second printing, the cover on that was actually by, I'm trying to remember, I can't remember who, but I remember it's a beautiful cover of the main character and the black troll as they go across the lake, which will make a lot more sense when you read the comic. But it's a really cool one. If you want to get that, go ahead and get your orders in with us before Monday. Moving on, not a really big ones this week. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, it's issue 45, continuing its storyline with the not Shattered Grid, but the Necessary Evil storyline that's crossing over with Go-Go Power Rangers. A very interesting new hardcover original graphic novel, Plate Tectonics, is an illustrated memoir by the author Margot Moten. It's a story of a single mom who falls in love with her best friend and all the complications of that. A real slice-of-life story, but actually beautifully well written. I'm rather excited about it. Surprisingly, it looks really, really good, and the art's rather unique. Moving on, I think that was really all the big things from Boom.
Yeah, that's all I got on Boom.
Yeah. Told you, he doesn't talk.
He doesn't let me talk.
Yeah, did you have anything you want to talk about on Boom?
Oh, no, I was just excited about the follow-up to Folklore, Spoon Man.
Folklords. Actually, it's going to be a really good comic. He's read it. It's great.
Folklords is awesome. It's a great story. You do not want to miss it. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah. But if you don't get that first printing, that second printing could look really cool. I'm actually going to get both. Let's see. So Dark Horse-wise, the big one I want to talk about here is Tommy Gun Wizards, which is no longer Tommy Gun Wizards. Apparently, Dark Horse got a cease and desist on that. They have changed the name of the comic for the 4th and final issue. It is now Machine Gun Wizards. Not that you get to see that, because there will be a wooden plaque over the cover of the comic, no joke, that covers up the Tommy Gun part of the title. So it just says Wizards issue number 4. But great story by Christian Ward about 1920s Chicago gangsters smuggling magic. So 4th and final issue, rename, should be getting a lot of attention on that.
They really should have taken a lesson from the Billy Club magazine that got the cease and desist letter as well.
I don't know.
Tommy Guns, Billy Club.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry. Who owns the rights to Tommy Gun?
I don't know. I really could not find that. Apparently, you're speaking 2 languages, by the way it's stating on there.
Speaks 2 languages, yes.
Yeah. So, moving onward, we have DC titles.
Basket full of heads. Sorry,
Basket
I'm
full of
jumping ahead, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. Basket Full of Heads is coming back. For those of you guys who saw #1 this week, a great new Joe Hill book. Richard talked it up, as well as the Sea Dogs backup. Basket Full of Heads #2 coming out in 3 weeks. Make sure you get that added to your pull if it's not already there. Do you want to talk up the big deal there, since you feel so confident in the answer?
Batman 38? Batman Beyond 38?
Batman Beyond 38. That one's going to be a huge one. For those of you guys who saw Batman Beyond 37, it was the first appearance of the new Batwoman of the Batman Beyond era. And Batman Beyond number 38 looks like it's going to be the reveal of who that is. I think you said you had a pretty strong theory.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Oh, you want me to tell everyone the spoiler? So I read the book. No, I'm kidding. No, I actually was joking last week when I saw the 37 on the shelf, and I was like, the spoiler alert, it's Dick Grayson, but female. And apparently the speculation in the community is that it's Dick Grayson's daughter.
Yeah, a lot of theories. I mean, we've been seeing the Batman Beyond 25 issue really spike on that. But I think that, Batman Beyond 37 obviously is getting a lot of credit, and it's spiking a little bit. We sold out rather quick. Even our reprints that we got, or our restock that we got in, sold out really quick. I think 38 is going to be the key issue. We have a lot of people who've been speculating on that, but, pre-requesting multiple copies. So if that's something where you feel that could be something valuable, perfect time to tell us how many copies you want, which cover. There's a beautiful Francis Manipool cover on there. I believe the A cover was by Lee Weeks. Yeah. So beautiful.
I'm really
covers.
liking that the cover B though, like you said.
Yeah,
it's absolutely stunning. It's really cool.
Although I'm probably gonna end up buying one of each because that Lee Weeks cover with the Batwoman Beyond standing over Bruce Wayne's little throne looks really cool.
And if it does turn out to be Dick Grayson's daughter, you want to make sure you somehow go and find Batman Beyond number 25, where this is her first appearance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be interesting stuff, yeah. So, moving on, what else in DC? Birds of Prey is on Final Order Cutoff for anybody checking previewsworld.com/final orders due. It is not actually on Final Order Cutoff. They have canceled that Birds of Prey series and will be resoliciting it for next year with Brian Azzarello still actually writing it. I'm super excited about that. Batwoman and Supergirl, World's Finest Giant, actually has 3 brand new stories as well as a beautiful Joelle Jones cover. $5 for 100 pages of comics and 3 brand new stories by some well-known writers. I believe it was Steve Orlando is doing one. A few others. You
were just going to be by someone.
Yeah. I to be honest, once again, the solicit information is not up there, but I know it's out there on the internet somewhere.
It's like there was a vacation or something that previews, because this week's solicitations just were incredibly vague.
Yeah,
so I don't have much to say because I don't get the extra insight beyond the preview. So when I was looking over it, I'm like, okay, well, there's the title.
And for reference, for those of you who ever want to open a comic shop, no, I mean, as the guy doing the orders, you're seeing the information I am. The information on Previews World is the information that's there. Anything else is me just doing my due diligence, talking to publishers, creators, and trying to track down information. And unfortunately, sometimes it's not there. It's a lot of detective work for very little payoff.
And when I try to call them, they don't answer.
So let's see, what else is there worth really talking about? There is going to be the $1 version of Infinite Crisis #1. Great Jeff Johns story. I love that to death. For $1, if you don't already own it, you got to grab it.
Harleen #3 of 3, the final book. Nothing new.
Covers.
If you're reading it, you're reading it. The covers are absolutely gorgeous. I can't decide on which one I want on this one.
Oh, I'm buying both. Step and Sage doing both covers. They're always amazing. I've gotten both covers on the first 2 issues. I'm going to finalize them with the trilogy.
John Constantine's back, which is really cool.
Yeah, so for those of you who love the new Hellblazer one-shot that was tied into the Sandman universe, yes, he is now going to have an ongoing series still tied into the Sandman universe as well as the main DCU, and it is John Constantine Hellblazer back. Cy Spurrier writing it. I'm super excited about that. Anybody who's ever been a Constantine fan needs to hop on that book.
Here's what I'm curious about, though. It doesn't appear that this one, the ongoing, is going to be a black label. but the one shot was a Black Label.
To be 100% honest, I would assume it is.
It should be a Black Label.
Yeah, I believe it'll be a mature title.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, yes, it is a mature title.
Okay.
So it should be, it should be Black Label.
We'll see.
It's just not marked with that on any of the preview images.
It's not marked on the cover or anything. So.
Yeah. But that will certainly be interesting. Yeah, but Sisbury and Aaron Campbell, I know a lot of people wanted specific cover requests on the recent one-shot, so if you have specific cover requests, now is the time to give me that heads up. There is an A cover, a B cover, and a blank cover, which amazingly, they do not have the preview art of the blank cover. I would safely assume it is going to be the Hellblazer logo over white.
So you think.
Yeah, so we think. Joker and Harley Criminal Sanity comes back for a second issue. It's basically the magazine-sized format of a Vertigo comic with Joker and Harley thrown over. But it's actually beautifully drawn, really interesting tale. It's going to be 9 issues at magazine-sized format. So tell us when you want those magazine-sized boxes. Last God?
Last God number 2. I loved Last God number 1. Again, we talked this up in the live feed on Wednesday. If you like fantasy, if you like Dungeons and Dragons, or if you're just curious about that world, definitely pick it up, because especially if you're just curious as to why people enjoy this genre, it is the book that would get you hooked.
It was absolutely amazing. I loved every single bit of it, and the fact that we're going to soon be getting 5e, yes, Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition content, stats, classes, races, all that stuff in the back of these books. As if it wasn't already a must-own for any fan of fantasy. If you're a player of D&D, you're going to love this extra information that you could add into your own scenarios or make an entirely brand new campaign set in the world of Last God. So make sure you get your orders down on that one.
What's New Year's Evil number 1? I missed that.
New Year's Evil number 1 actually is going to be one of the larger size prestige edition, holiday themed collections. So it's going to have a bunch of top creators like Vita Yala, Gabriel Hardman, Carino Becco, his wonderful wife, Dan Waters, and others, along with top tier artists doing stories for characters like Joker, Harley Quinn, Sinestro, the Batman Who Laughs, all these great evil villains, set around the Christmas, New Year's kind of thing.
The cover's really cool, but I don't know how I missed that going through it the first time.
Jim Chung on the art. Yeah, that's the reason why we have this, so that way you can catch all these wonderful things. We can point them out, or Richard can discover it for the first time directly live on camera. And you can get those orders in. That one actually, I mind you, will not be November 27th, but because that's an oversized issue, it will be a December 4th release. We just have to order it that far in advance. Other big ones, I actually am really impressed with the DC Ink lines. They're the original graphic novels for younger readers, but they're great for all ages, in all honesty. Shadow of the Batgirl will be a big one, especially for those of you who are counting down for the Birds of Prey Harley Quinn movie, as that is going to be dealing with a Cassandra Cain character, and this is a Cassandra Cain original graphic novel. So that one is by Sarah Kuhn, who's well known in the all ages prose market, and Nicole Go, who's doing the art on that one. I feel like I'm the one doing all the talking here.
You are this time, but it's because there. To be fair, there's not much in the way of new books, so I don't want to spend a lot of time going over. Just if you're already reading it, you're reading it.
But if you're already reading it and it's not on your pull list, it's the perfect time to add something, because it helps us get our order numbers right. It makes sure that you don't have to rush to the store and potentially miss out on anything. It's the way to go. And one other great original graphic novel before we move out of DC, Zatanna and the House of Secrets. I love House of Secrets stuff. I have been, since I was a little kid. Those horror stories were great. But Zatanna, the mistress of magic in the DC universe, getting a tale there for all ages is going to be particularly fun. Matthew Cody is handling that one with Yoshi Yoshitani doing the artwork on that. It should be interesting. It's definitely a younger reader book, but if you're a Zatanna fan, it might be worth adding to your pull. Or if you know somebody who likes magical stories, that Harry Potter-esque of younger readers, DC.
Or if you're just one of the older readers and you have children and you've been trying to get them into it, because these younger reader books do look very interesting, and it looked like a great way to jump on. So,
and if you have a moment and you are following along with us at previewsworld.com/finalordersdue, make sure to take a look at the DC collectibles. They're on final order cutoff this week. A lot of cool figures and statues. those are the type of things where we need your orders to make sure we can order those and guarantee that they'll sell. So if there's one you're interested in, please shoot us a message.
Definitely check that out. That Todd McFarlane Batman statue's on there. Oh, if you saw that at Comic-Con, that was insane.
Yeah, and they have, of course, all the great new Batman the Animated Series action figures as they continue that great line. Dynamite, of course, talking about Betty Page Unbound. Once again, lots of great covers on that. If you have a specific one, please feel free to comment. Same with Elvira. We'll make sure to get you that specific cover.
IDW's got quite a bit. You've got the Karate Kid Cobra Kai series that's going to issue number 2 of 4. And then the one that caught my attention was the Crow one-shot, Hark of the Herald, by Tim Seeley. So that one looks very interesting. If you're a Crow fan, definitely make sure to take a look at this one. Yeah,
standalone story. You get the whole entire thing done in one. So if you just only watch the Crow movies, or you've been reading Crow comics since O'Barr was doing it, what was that? Almost 30 years ago. Perfect way to go. And Tim Seeley, perfect choice on that IDW.
And the story looks very interesting too. So it looks like a group of 6 psychotic killers get together every year, and in this story, Cecilia Wright surprises them and decides to take them out, which is pretty cool. So
yeah, I love Crow stories, so I think that'll be good. We're hitting issue 8 of From Hell, Alan Moore's classic. Some of the last Alan Moore stuff we'll be getting because Alan Moore's retired from comics. This time I feel it might honestly be true as he's moved in the world of movies and music. So that's a cool one to see reprinted now in color with additional features thanks to Eddie Campbell.
Yeah, and speaking of some kids stuff too, there's a couple things here. There's the Goosebumps hardcover, which is I was a fan of Goosebumps as a little older kid because it was a little bit behind my time, but it was still a lot of fun to read. But the Marvel Action Series stuff from IDW is fantastic. It's geared towards the younger readers to get them involved in some of those key characters that you love, and bring them into the world without jumping into those more adult story. Oriented.
With Marvel Action Spider-Man too. The adults are the ones reading that too. It's Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and Spider-Gwen Stacy. I just realized I said their identities, and then Spider-Gwen became Spider-Gwen instead of Gwen Stacy. But it's the 3 of them against Venom. It's awesome. That 1 in 10 as the guy, one of the guys who got the 1 in 10.
The one guy that got the 1 in 10.
Yeah, John Boy Myers has been doing some really great 1 in 10 variants recently, and he can tell you firsthand how much is that 1 in 10 variant?
Fantastic. The last I saw was $185.
Yeah, you bought that for what? About $9 from us?
$10 and minus for the ordering whatever the discount is.
You pre-order with us, you set up a pull list, you get 10% off. So he paid $9 for a comic that's now around $180.
$180 was the last I saw it at on eBay. Yeah. The covers on these are phenomenal, which is that one actually when I saw it solicited, I just had to jump on it for the Venom.
In fact, I believe he told me a little bit before we did the live stream on that actually, about roughly a month ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was something that just literally was just going through, and I went, this cover is amazing. I have no idea what the story's about, but I needed to have it, and then...
Yeah. And it's awesome stories. It's literally our 3 favorite spider heroes versus Venom. I don't care if you're a 6-year-old or a 60-year-old. This is a good Spider-Man story you should be reading. And then on top of that, the covers are stunning. There's going to be another 1 in 10, of course, on issue number 12. So if you want that, comment below. Obviously, if you just want the most badass cover that David Tinto, I think, has ever done, Venom chasing down Spider-Gwen and both Spider-Men, that's only going to be $4. You can't go wrong with that. $360 actually if you have your pull list discount. So of course you pre-order now and we can get you that. Let's see what else. Of course, My Little Pony is having a holiday special for all you My Little Pony fans out there.
Let's jump to Star Trek.
Yes, Star Trek has some good ones.
It's going to be phenomenal. First off, let's just touch base on the year 5. You've heard me talk about it in the live stream on Wednesdays. You've heard Matthias mention that they're going to have the artists in here.
Writers. Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly will be here November 23rd to sign your issue number 7s that we have stocked up. But we're talking about issue 8.
Issue 8. So this is so every issue is every 2 issues is basically 1 episode. Because this is the lost series, that year 5 that was never produced for the original Star Trek series, and they just decided to put it in comic book format, which is amazing. And so issue 8 is the second half of that issue 7 episode, which is pretty cool. It's a great read if you're a Star Trek fan. Definitely worth checking out. I think there's still some on the walls, and and like I said, everything is a dual. Like every 2 issues is 1 episode, so it's not like you're missing anything if you jump in late. But the other big Star Trek book, and I wish they put the cover on this.
Yeah, it's out there on the internet. I've actually seen it. It's a beautiful, beautiful cover. But
it's Picard Countdown to the first episode of the Picard series that's going to be on NBC. Is it NBC? CBS.
CBS, yeah. And I don't know anyone who isn't. I mean, if you're not excited for Star Trek, Picard, I just don't want to hear from you.
You probably turned us off 10 minutes ago when we started talking about it. But
yeah, I'm super hyped about this TV series. It looks absolutely amazing. I mean, we get, Patrick Stewart back. We get pretty much everybody who mattered from that era. Yeah. Next Generation or Deep Space Nine back. I'm super, super excited about this. And this is the comic that's going to bring it all to us. And my favorite part is Mike Johnson is the one who is bringing this to us. He wrote the preludes to the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies that were absolutely must-reads. If you like the J.J. Abrams Star Trek films, or actually anything Star Trek, Mike Johnson is the Star Trek writer. And he did a great job bridging that gap from the classic Star Trek universe of the original TV series and movies into the J.J. Abrams verse, showing exactly how we had old Spock come into the new universe. So I can only imagine he's got this down packed. He's going to give us a direct, here was Star Trek Nemesis, the film, directly into this new Picard TV series.
Yeah, and this, to me, is if you're planning on watching the show like I am, this is a must-have, this is a must-get, because it leads directly into the show, so it's all the setup, so you're ready to hit the ground running when it comes on. I had actually watched the trailer twice because I was cutting it when I watched it the first time. So it was, the screen was a little bit blurry there, but it is phenomenal. I can't wait. I'm going to have to I haven't seen the cover for this, so I'm going to have to look it up.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's just a side profile of Picard, but it looks incredibly well crafted. Yeah, and of course we have our normal wonderful things from Star Trek. We're going to have the final issue, thankfully, for TMNT Shredder in Hell, which will lead us all up to TMNT number 100. Star Wars Adventures, Transformers, all that fun stuff. Oh, and the big one, Usagi Yojimbo fans, because I know there's a few of you watching right now. Usagi Yojimbo had a great crossover cover with Ragnarok number 1. It was Walt Simonson and Stan Sakai doing a jam piece. If you like that, I know a lot of you couldn't get the Ragnarok number 1 variant because, well, we only got one, and I know who got that. But all the more reason to pre-order so you can get these things. But that exact wonderful jam piece actually is a poster now signed by both Walt Simonson and Stan Sakai. It is only $20. There is no reason not to order this poster. That is a magnificent piece of art signed by both big creators.
It is really cool. Actually, I don't think I got the one that you got in. I think that went to you. But I actually picked it up at Comic-Con, got Simonson to sign it, and then I stupidly went and put the book in the car at lunchtime and didn't bring it back to get Stan Sakai to sign it.
We'll get Stan Sakai back here so we can take care of that and anything you guys might need.
But it's a really cool piece of artwork.
Yeah. So let's move on to Image. One of the big ones is that Curse Words is finally ending at issue number 25. Charles Soule's hilarious story of a wizard in our modern world doing all sorts of evil and questionable things for his own desires and goods. Wrapping up on issue 25 with 2 covers. For those of you who are a fan of Die, the great RPG story, there are t-shirts and pins available that you can grab. Let's see what else. Actually, that's about it from Image, really. Wow. Image was cool.
Ice Cream. Oh, it's a volume 4. Never mind.
Yeah,
it's
the
Ice Cream Man. I was curious because I heard so much good things about Ice Cream Man. I was hoping that was a volume 1 trade paperback.
Well, if you need, we have the $1 number 1 over there, and over there we happen to have the trade paperbacks.
There you go.
Yeah. Catch up. So here's the big one, Marvel. Marvel has a ton. So let's kind of do this as quick as we can. Amazing Spider-Man 35 continues Nick Spencer's great run to the 2099 universe with Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Great connecting covers by Art Adams.
Oh, yeah, that Spider-Gwen cover, I know that's what I'm picking up. We, of course, have Fantastic Four's entry into Annihilation. The new Annihilation Scourge storyline is a series of one-shots. This one on FOC is going to be the Fantastic Four one. Great Phil Noto cover.
But it also has the Nova number 1 coming out the same week.
I know,
make sure you get both of them. Yeah. And there is a connecting I think it's the ones that they're not showing the cover for are the connecting covers.
Yes, indeed. The A covers will all be connecting, and they are beautiful. I believe they were done by Casanovas. I will not be able to pronounce
Casanovas is the Jose Maria. That's not that hard.
Jose Maria. Okay, well, there you go.
It's 2 names.
2 names in 1 name.
Yep.
Yeah. Obviously, there's the most beautiful J. Scott Campbell Black Cat cover in the way of Black Cat number 7. You'll definitely not want to lose out on that. Yes, George,
Yeah,
connecting covers.
Yeah, that black cat. That's
Yeah. That's a cover you're going to want.
It's enticing. It's very eye-catching.
To say the least. A lot of hardcover releases this week from Marvel. A big one I want to point out, Captain Marvel 11, which everyone's been freaking out about the ending and their big reveal with Star, is going to have a second printing cover that is a beautiful black and white piece. Or potentially not black and white, because it does say not final cover, so we don't know for a fact that Carnero didn't just wait to add art. Conan 2099. This one's Gary Dugan. Do you wanna talk up this a little?
Well, it's finally we get into the 2099 series other than the Alpha. So this is going to be the first on the list of all the 2099 characters. Conan the Barbarian. Here's where they kind of lose me, because I grew up in the reading comic books. I started in the 80s when I was a little kid, but in the 90s I wasn't a giant fan of the 2099 series, with rare exception. But Jerry Dugan is really, I've enjoyed his stuff. Yeah. I really like Conan the Barbarian. So it might be worth checking out, to in my opinion, to see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lightsaber of a sword, a bit of a beard, which is always something I think that makes Conan a little bit cooler, for unknown reasons. But I think that one could be interesting. I'd be willing to give it a shot. But yeah, if you want to, just definitely get your orders in. Of course, Ron Lim's doing variants for all those. And if you're a Conan fan, you're also going to need this next one, a new 4-issue series, Conan the Serpent War. Because not only does this have Conan and the Marvel character Moon Knight, but it has 2 other Robert E. Howard characters that I didn't think we would actually get over at Marvel. And
Solomon Kane, Dark Agnes. This title blew my mind when I read the solicit. First off, I went, no way, that's way too cool. All 4 of these characters in one book. And then I started wondering, how the hell are they going to make that work? It doesn't make sense.
No, I mean,
but then
different
Savage Avengers is so good. And it's basically the same mix match of characters that you would never think you'd see together and always wanted to. So
the part that makes it even better, in my opinion, I mean, as if this isn't a great combination of characters, a great a great storyline concept. The part that makes it for me is the writer, is Jim Zub. Jim Zub is the guy that Dungeons and Dragons goes to when they need advice. Jim Zub writes some of the best comics in the industry. He was the man writing Champions that made it so wonderful. I'm watching people sign up and add this to their pull list literally right behind this camera as we speak. It's Serpent War. I think that one's going to be really cool.
Yeah, and it's like, again, like when I saw the Savage Avengers one, the same reaction I got from this was these 4 characters in a comic book as a team. It's what you've always been waiting for. And it's only 4 parts, so...
Yeah. I'm going to say something damning right here. I actually like Solomon Kane more than I like Conan, to be 100% honest, too. So this has me a lot excited. I don't think we've ever really had a Solomon Kane Marvel story, have we?
Not that I know of.
Yeah. I mean, I loved his Dark Horse stuff, but yeah. One of Robert E. Howard's best characters. So... And then, of course, Moon Knight. Everyone loves Moon Knight. Yeah.
Who knows... Who, Moon Knight? Who?
Yeah.
What?
I know that you wanted to talk up that beautiful Tedesco cover on Daredevil.
The Tedesco cover on the Daredevil 14 is absolutely stunning. All of his covers. The Daredevil series, cover A's have been mind-blowing. I absolutely love them. It's very hard to get the other covers unless it's something equal, and then I just get 2. Yeah. So...
But yeah, and I mean, the other theme, aside from 2099, is of course 2020 as we prepare to enter that year for Iron Man. So there is the Daredevil Iron Man 2020 variant by Scon, which has Elektra looking like a 1990s trading card. So those are options, of course, if you want.
Iron Man 2020, I guess you got to hit the back bin issues to try to find Machine Man number 2?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Number 2.
Yeah, with Arno Stark. Yeah.
Digging deep.
Yeah, there's some great facsimiles out this week. Obviously, Eternals #1, especially with the upcoming Eternals movie, is going to be a big one. I know I have a lot of people who've been trying to track down our Eternals #1 we have in storage that I am going to dig out at some point. But why pay all that money when you can have the facsimile edition for just $9? $9, that's $9. Not right.
That seems...
That's
extremely
the poster.
high. Oh, that's the poster.
Oh, yeah.
So the facsimile does not come out yet.
Oh, yeah.
I totally bought into that. I was so excited. Eternals #1 facsimile. I stopped reading.
This is what happens when we do it live. We're going to make mistakes like this. But hey, if you want the Eternals #1 cover in facsimile edition as a poster. Now's your time to get.
Well,
that
here's
order.
this. They don't have to wait till the final order is cut off.
Yeah.
They can order it now.
That is very true.
Eventually, it will be on the final order cutoff, and you'll hear us talk about it again.
Yeah, Ken already ahead of us talking about the V's right now of Venom 2099. That being said, let's talk about things that are actually coming out in 3 weeks. Excalibur number 3.
No one liked that, so let's just move on.
Yeah, I mean, Excalibur was
never mind.
absolutely fucking amazing. Same with Fallen Angels. Now, that being said, most of you guys haven't read Fallen Angels number 1 because most of you, I mean, literally neither of us have either. But you can get your Fallen Angels number 2 pre-ordered now. Fantastic Four Grand Design has its second and final issue on pre-order, as well as Fantastic Four Negative Zone. Actually, this one you had some interesting ideas on.
Negative Zone. So this was back before they released Endgame, and then we knew that there was going to be a Quantum Realm. I just assumed that the Quantum Realm was going to be the easy to know and easy to explain version of the Negative Zone. Because my theory, and I hope like heck that in phases 5 and 6 of the MCU, we do get to see the Negative Zone come to fruition, and we get to see the Annihilation Wave, and we get to see a lot of really cool stuff. It just would make sense, and that's why they're preparing us so far out in advance with all this Annihilus and Annihilation and Negative Zone. But either way, it's a great read. So
yeah, no, I mean, and then on top of that, for those of you who have been reading Dan Slott's Fantastic Four run, if you like the Fantastics, spelled with an X, the new owners of the Baxter Building, we're going to get a new story about them in that Fantastic Four Negative Zone one-shot.
Mm-hmm. And cover B by Su Yan is really, really cool.
Absolutely amazing, yeah. I'd buy it just for that cover. We have Ghost Rider 2099. You pointed something out wonderful about that.
Ghost Rider 2099. This was one of the few 2099 titles that I was curious about just right off the bat, because it's going to be one of the few ones where we actually get technically a new character. So it's going to be a new Ghost Rider. It goes by the name of Zero.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the whole full name. Kenshiro Zero Cochran.
Yeah, it's a unique. Well, I mean, it's 2099. We there is no idea of regional based identity.
But yeah, so that's kind of cool. I'm assuming Kenshiro Zero, he's Japanese of descent, and he's the Ghost Rider. He's in the future. Yeah. It's just the cover's really badass.
Yeah, you gotta love anytime somebody replaces their arm with a
flaming chainsaw.
Yeah, it's even better than Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
Speaking of 2099, Ghost Spider number 4 comes out in 3 weeks. And keeping with the theme of 2099 covers, there is a great B cover by Bengal of the 2099 version of Spider-Gwen. And that, I think, is going to be a must-have for a lot of you guys, because I know there's a lot of Spider-Gwen fans. Ken, am I right? Do you need the Bengal cover?
Ghost Spider.
Ghost Spider. Yeah, did I say Ghost Spider? Yeah. Yep, true.
No one's going to... This character's never going to take off.
Yeah. Second printings of Immortal Hulk number 25. If you didn't get those first printings, you get the second printings.
They're really pumping the posters this week.
Yeah.
Incoming's got a poster for the big Incoming story arc that's coming up.
Yeah, posters. I mean, that's a nice thing. Marvel's one of the few companies there. Big one I want to talk about. Best X-Men book. Best X-Men book. I don't give a damn what he says. Marauders number 1. Kitty Pryde as a pirate is the coolest comic concept I can imagine. And if you miss Marauders number 1, the second printing is on final order cutoff. It has a wonderful Tiananmen Square-esque cover. And for those of you who read Marauders number 1, you know exactly what Kitty did to that tank, and she destroyed it. So it's going to be an awesome cover. I'm buying the book for a second time. I love it that much. And I think all of you, honestly, if you didn't read Marauders number 1, you're making a horrible mistake in your life, and you need to fix that by ordering the second printing, because we're not going to be getting any more first printings, unfortunately. And this is an absolutely amazing X book. It is the best X book out yet. You got to grab it.
And if for everyone out there that's under the age of 30, if you didn't get the historical reference, just Google it.
Oh yeah, Tiananmen Square. How about Punisher 2099? Another one-shot set in the 2099 universe.
Punisher.
The year 2099.
When I was a kid, this is the the 2099 titles I was excited to get, because I'm a giant Punisher fan, and I just wasn't that into it. I mean, you're going to get my honest opinion if you haven't figured that out yet. That doesn't mean I'm not going to check it out because this obviously is a new story. So
yeah, Lonnie Nadler, Zach Thompson, they're growing writers out there. There's some of the guys who helped us bring the Age of X-Men storyline right before we got the big Hickman relaunch, as well as they did the Guardians of the Galaxy annual. But yeah, I mean, it's actually a really cool design for a character.
His outfit looks insane. So there's that. That's definitely a plus from over the 90s version.
Yeah. I mean, personally for me, it'll always be Doom 2099, though.
Doom and Ravage.
Oh, actually, yeah. No, that was a good one, too.
The only two good ones.
Yeah. You want to? All right. So I'm going to turn to my number one source of all information relating to Venom and Absolute Carnage.
Come on over, George.
Richard. Big one we have coming out right now in 3 weeks. Scream: The Curse of Carnage.
So this was one of the tie-ins that I really, really enjoyed. I liked all the tie-ins. I thought some of them were a little bit, maybe one issue too long for what they needed to do. That said, well, it just...
It was George's comment.
Oh, okay, I apologize.
Yeah, the fun thing, if you're watching these are real-time comments.
No, I actually wish I would have bought that Punisher cover. Anyways, Scream was one that was directly tied in, and each of the issues were great to read. They definitely not only were tying into the Carnage series that's still ongoing for a little bit longer, but it was setting up this series coming up here. And Andy Benton takes over the Scream symbiote, and this is setting up her new story arc. So it's a new Scream that we haven't seen before, sort of, a new host. And it just, if it's anywhere near as good as those tie-ins were, this is going to be a fantastic one to pick up.
Yeah, I'm excited. There's a couple different major covers. I actually think the Jim Chung cover is the one that stands out the most. But of course, a lot of people love Scotty Young, and a lot of people love Stanley Art Germ Lau. The Art Germ cover will undoubtedly be highly requested. I'm sure Ken is going to comment in a moment and say, "I want that cover." And then, of course, Scotty Young fans will get you covered on that wonderful Scotty Young version of the Scream cover.
I'm with you though. I'm going cover A.
Yeah, I think Jim Chung's the way to go.
And then another blast from the past in my childhood, there's Spider-Ham.
Yes.
It's just another poster, but Spider-Ham is coming back, so again, they're promoting it with a poster out in advance.
Perfect time to get really advanced on your pre-orders on that. Mm-hmm. I love when I can predict Ken's options
and
right
he
there.
was about to gloss over it, but just to touch base on there, the Spider-Man #3 by J.J. Abrams and his son. It's only a 5-part, but that's turning out to be a really, really good
I gotta
read.
say, I keep upping my orders. I ordered more copies of #2 than I did of #1, and we still sold out. It's crazy. So yeah, if you want to guarantee your copy, once again, tell me how many you want. Let's get that going.
It's definitely a series that I started out going, I'm not ordering it, I'm not reading it, and then I saw a little bit more and a little bit more, and I got hooked, bought the damn thing, and it's really good.
Yeah. So here's the big one, Star Wars fans. I know we're getting close to the rise of the Skywalker film, but let's go back to 1977, before A New Hope even came out. Literally months before Star Wars A New Hope was ever on movie screens, Star Wars #1, the very first comic in dealing with Star Wars, the very first thing really being published dealing with Star Wars, came out from Roy Thomas and Howard Chaykin. That was a huge issue. It goes for literally a nice 3 figures nowadays, but actually 4 figures if you have the right cover. But you can now own it in a facsimile edition that perfectly replicates that 1977 release, a summer 1977 release before the movie, for just, what is that going to be, $4?
$3.99, so it's the $3.99 variant.
Yeah. But no, that's going to be a cool one, especially for somebody like me, because while I do own that issue, I went and got that. I hate these people are going to yell at me about this. I got it graded. I got it signed by Howard Chaykin and graded, thankfully. And now I can read it again by having a facsimile edition.
Or you can open yours.
The
guy that says never grade a book.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
Got his Star Wars graded. Was it the 30 cent or the 35?
It was the 35 center, actually.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, and on top of that, signed by Howard Chaykin, it came out in 9.4.
Okay, you're forgiven.
Yeah.
You can find the 30 cent, though, and read that one.
I could. In fact, we have a 30 cent right over there. If anybody wants to buy the original thing, we still have a first printing #1 just on the wall right over there.
Sold.
He's not going to buy it. But yeah, so yeah, facsimile edition available for $3.99 just 3 weeks. You got to own that. If you're a Star Wars fan, I will tell you this right here. This is going to be my director. I'm just going to turn this right here. Star Wars #1. If you're a Star Wars fan and you don't own the comic that came out before the movie, Star Wars #1, that came out months before the movie came into theaters. You are not a Star Wars fan, and you can fix this in 3 weeks. Get your pre-orders in now, and you can fix this. That is the most important Star Wars piece of memorabilia, as far as I'm concerned, to own, because it came out before the movie.
He laid down the gauntlet there. He just called you all out.
Come on, Star Wars fans, prove me wrong. Like, go own a copy of this. It's $4. That is cheaper than any Star Wars action figure you're buying.
Yeah, and he's pretty much right, too. Especially if you were born before the movie.
Yeah.
You really have no reason not to have owned that book.
All right, so moving on. There's some great other things. Star Wars Saga actually is an interesting one. I'm super excited. If you haven't read the current Star Wars comic series that's coming up on its 75th issue, you can read a wonderful collection of all of it for just $3.99 that, adapts all the storyline that's been going on for that. Star Wars Saga #1 for just $3.99 on that one. Let's see, what else do we have?
Another poster.
Yeah.
Oh, let's not skip Thor Worthy.
Yes,
this
Thor
is going to
Worthy.
be phenomenal. We mentioned Simonson earlier. He is back to do a one-shot on Thor. And if you don't know who Walter Simonson is, then you don't know who Thor is. To be totally honest there, you are missing out. So if you have never read Thor written by Walter, pick up this book and do yourself a favor, because then you'll be searching in back bins.
Yeah, or getting the trades. We do happen to have those. Yeah. Moving on, a lot of great True Believers. You're a big fan of True Believers. I'm gonna let you take over the True Believers as we talk about this stuff.
Oh, let's just kind of rattle them off. There's a lot of Star Wars, so I'm not going to go into detail about them. But before we get to the Star Wars one, the first one on there is the Conan Serpent War Zero Valley of the Worm. And so they're reprinting that in the dollar book. And these are all dollar books. These are a great way to read old stories that you may have missed the first time around, or you just weren't around for the first time around. Then they start the Star Wars True Believers, and obviously it makes sense that Disney now owns Marvel, that Disney also owns Star Wars. Guess what they're doing? They're getting you really, really excited about this upcoming movie and the Mandalorian series. So the first one here, we have Star Wars According to Droids #1. Then we also have Star Wars Death Probe #1, Star Wars Hunter #1. What if, like, George is handing me things off screen? I don't know what it is. Star Wars The Hutt Run #1. Yes, there's more. Vader vs. Leia #1. And you definitely want to check those out. I don't want to go into all the lengthy detail about each one of those. All great stories. I believe I actually have the Droids #1 at home and the Hutt Run #1. I'll probably have to pick up the others so I can, because I missed them. So if you're a Star Wars fan, definitely check it out. If you're on the previewsworld.com/final orders due, check it out. Look into the solicits so you know which ones might pique your interest. But again, they're really only $1, so no harm, no foul, really. So you can check those books out for $1. And if you don't like it, then it was just $1. Pass it off to someone that might like it. Then we get to another facsimile, and this one's a great one. This book is blowing up.
It's so good I had to come back for it.
Yeah, Uncanny X-Men 266.
And I hope you all are not going to fight us on the description of this one.
The description being not the first appearance of Gambit?
I think it's the first appearance of Gambit. You think it's the annual?
The annual? Why? He's in the annual, isn't he?
He is in the annual.
And did the annual not come out before 266?
The annual did come out before, but the annual happened to not be the first part of his story. The first part of his story was 266. Yeah.
But we're not doing timeline. What if, like, time travel then makes it later books called the first appearance just because time travel exists, or they just go back, like Cable's first appearance is when he was a baby?
Well, so as you can see, this is a highly contested topic of debate as to what was the first appearance of Gambit. I'm going to stand with Uncanny X-Men 266. And the cool thing is, that's what Marvel is printing the facsimile edition of.
Just wait, they're going to do the annual as well at some point. Just like they're doing the facsimile of Hulk 180.
That's actually great. I love that they're doing that.
I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it.
Because that's the first appearance of Wolverine, though, I will point out.
Here's the first appearance of Wolverine was a Daredevil book, and it was the ad. And I say that because I own that one. But anyway, actually that came out, I think, about a week after 180 did, which sucks. But
real first appearance.
Anyways, If you want to get in on this debate, put it in the comments. Which do you think is the first edition or first appearance?
I would love to actually hear that in the comments. Give me your argument as to what the first appearance of Gambit was, and if it's a good enough argument, I might make a really cool gift appear in your poll box.
How about, what do you consider a first appearance? I think that's a topic we should discuss in one of these live streams. But that said, if you can't decide, just get both of them. But in this case, it's the facsimile, and it's only going to be $4, and it's a great story either way. And it's Gambit, and he's on the cover, and it's badass.
Yeah, and I'm going to point out, if your name is George Sangster and you're leaving a comment that Hulk 180 is the cameo, I would love to hear a follow-up in the comments as to why you believe that is a cameo and not a first appearance.
Because he just wants to piss you off.
I know, that's exactly what it is.
And I think he deserves a no prize for that.
We'll see what happens. We'll see where the comments
no
go. Yeah. So once again, fun. Get involved. Hop in the comments. Give us your thoughts on first appearances. What makes a first appearance versus what doesn't. And I might give a prize out. I legitimately think I will have a cool prize in store for somebody who gives me the best response.
Or even better, if you would like to see topics like that discussed on a live stream at some point, comment. We keep asking you to comment. No one ever does on what you would like to see. You comment about what we're discussing live, which is great. But if you want to see more,
and we see the views
or different comments or content, then comment. Because otherwise, we just do what we did earlier and sit here talk for 2 or 3 hours about really cool stuff that you're missing out on.
Yeah, actually, that did happen. For about the past 2 hours prior to the live stream, we were just talking about things we should have talked about on the live stream.
I said it afterwards. It was like everyone left, and we're like, oh, that should have been on a live stream because that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So once again, I mean, we know that hundreds of you guys watch this, and we're thankful for every single one of you who takes the time. But leave a comment in there. Talk about things. Let's get involved with us. In fact, for those of you like George, who's always commenting in there, you know, it's great. But that being said, you're not getting a gold star for that because Hulk 180 was the first appearance of Wolverine.
Him and his participation trophies.
All right, moving down the line of other great things that are coming out of Marvel, the big one that we all need to talk about right now. Everyone banked that Venom 19 was going to be the key issue. Why was everyone thinking Venom 19 was going to be the key issue?
Because they're not paying attention.
But the reason that the theory was something about Dylan Brock.
Brock, yes. We are all waiting to see when Dylan Brock is going to manifest into whatever he's going to fully manifest. We got teased. We've been tormented. We've been tantalized.
Yeah, for all of you who tracked down Venom number 19, and I gotta love that you guys all came out in just gangbuster numbers for Venom number 19, that no matter how much I upped my order, we still sold out. You got to the last page and you realize that was not the issue. Now is the chance to get in on the issue that will matter.
That said, to be fair, though, it still was a great read. It was a great story. It's Donny Cates. It's fantastic. Yeah. So it's not like you're missing out. But if you are just trying to speculate, then I guess you're going to have to speculate a little bit longer, because it might not be even Venom 20.
It might not, but I think it is.
Absolute Carnage 5 comes out afterwards. But this will be the final tie-in. Because the Captain Marvel tie-in comes out beforehand. So this is the final tie-in before we get to the Venom 21, which is going to be amazing.
Venom Island.
But
let's not go ahead of ourselves.
We're not going there yet.
Let's talk about Venom number
20.
Venom number 20 comes out November 27th. 3 weeks' time. It is on final order cutoff. I need your numbers on however many copies you want by 8 p.m. Monday, and I can get you any number of them. Once again, you can go find all this information at previewsworld.com/finalordersdue. But this is going to be the big one, I think. I think this is going to be our Dylan Brock moment. Do you not agree?
Even if I think so. I really do think it's going to happen in a Venom book and not the Carnage book. I think the Carnage book is going to be dedicated to tying up that series. In which case, Dylan Brock might be key to that. Young Normie might be key to it. We still got Normie in there, and there's something going on with him too. I think they're both going to be very pivotal. And if I actually
started the whole thing.
I'm kind of cheating because I looked into solicits way out in advance, and but they're both going to be pivotal. It's just a matter of when. That said, this is going to be a great book. Donny Cates has been talking it up like crazy. He says, do not miss this one. This is the book not to miss, not to miss, not to miss. And their covers are amazing. The great thing is that there's not 26 damn variants for it. Yes. I think there's only 3 or 4.
So, the big thing we must stress once again, and this is where I look at you directly. There we go. I found you. Yeah.
Me?
Venom 20. Venom 20 is the key right now. If you want multiple copies, now is the time to tell us. If you want specific covers, now is the time to tell us. This is going to be a big book. I know that it's going to sell far more than I think it will. And I'm going to order significantly more than I will have 19, which was already high numbers that we sold out on. Venom number 20, you tell us exactly how many you want, and you get me that number before Monday at 8 p.m., and we will get you that many copies.
That said, I'm going to do you all a favor. If you are a collector, if you are specking, if you are that guy that just needs to have the key book that goes completely through the roof, and this just happens to be the one, make sure you reach out to them ASAP and claim that Codex cover. Because I don't know what the ratio on that is, but it's not going to be a lot. It is killer, and it is sleeper.
George, who is physically here in the store writing this down right now. Can you hand
George
this really
just
quick?
beat you to it all. But I don't know. Is it a 1 in 20 or 1 in 25? I don't know.
You know what? We're gonna keep it talking for a second. I'll get a double check on that.
Might be able to get two if a lot of you order it. But it's got Sleeper on the cover. This is one of the few Codex's covers that they've actually revealed ahead of time.
Yeah.
It is great looking. It is Sleeper. Sleeper's been playing a pivotal role to this story arc. So. If it does turn out to be that big book, the ratio variant on this with that cover will probably be the one to get. I know
that Codex cover is open order.
It's open order.
I mean, if you want it, we can order it for you, which is rare.
Wait,
Codex variants
not only that, was that the price?
$3.99.
Was that correct? Yeah.
Yeah, $3.99.
Holy cow!
Yeah. So that one's going to be a big deal.
There's something big happening here because that's the first Codex that's no cover price.
That's not 25. Yeah, I mean, and then on top of that, there's a beautiful 2099 Venom one, which I noticed Ken in the comments already claimed one. We'll get you however many you need. Just tell us.
And we will get to that book soon.
All three of those are actually.
What's this one? There's another one.
You know, that's the A cover.
No, this one.
That was the original Venom. That was Venom back when Flash Thompson was Venom.
Okay, that's why that cover looks so familiar.
Yeah. But, yeah, and in fact, George, if I can borrow that sheet that you're currently writing on so we can show you that this is the live audience effect on this really does work. I'm going to, show you. We, of course, have our little form here. You can write any pull adjustments or special orders you want. If you want, whether you're a pull list customer or not, if you want a book in advance of release, you write down your name, phone number, and what it is you're looking for. We've had some really great responses while we've been doing this live stream right here. So I'm going to hand this back. That's at any point in time you can come into the store and get your orders in, as well as you can comment. You can email us at knowheregamesandcomics@gmail.com. You can Facebook message us. You can comment us. Thank you, Ken. That is exactly what it looks like. Yeah, so just get that information to us however you can, and we will make sure to have those books waiting for you. So Venom number 20, it's going to be effing huge. So get your orders in, get your quantities in. I know some of you guys are going to want multiple. Now's the time to tell me on that.
And speaking of posters, and that Venom 21, they have a poster. Clayton
Venom
Crane?
Island. Clayton Crane.
Clayton Crane. Beautiful, beautiful piece of artwork.
Fun guy to drink with.
His art is so cool. But anyways, just the poster. There's a lot of posters.
Yeah, I think I'll put it this way: if you're getting Venom number 20, you should be getting Venom number 21. Speculation-wise, both of them look amazing. Both of them are going to be awesome. Story-wise,
cool story.
Yeah,
going back to that island.
Yeah, a lot of fun there. But we'll talk about that, I'm sure, in about 3 weeks.
More back issue diving.
Yeah. So another one, not to be confused with the Venom 2099 variant for Venom issue number 20, is Venom 2099, the Venom of the year 2099, that will also be getting a one-shot in 3 weeks. This one's going to be a big deal one because it's Jody Hauser writing it. Jody is an amazing writer. She is just knocking things out of the park. She's one of the writers also of Star Trek Year 5.
And Clayton Crane's doing the cover again. So this solicit looks like it's... I don't know what to say about the solicit. It's very interesting to say the least. It's Alchemix is in control of the symbiote.
I'm going to say it this way. That is the 2099 book I'm most looking forward to.
It definitely is for me as well. It is the one that, if I was going to pick one, it's this one. It's
some
Venom.
great Italian artists doing it too.
Absolutely, it looks killer. And the cover B, is that a new female Venom?
That is a female Venom on there that Ron Lim did.
The original female Venom, but it looks a little different.
I don't have a good answer for you on that, to be 100% honest with that. But that's something if you're watching.
We might find out. Maybe 2099 Venom is a female.
It would be very cool. I would love to see another female Venom. So yeah, so Venom is the answer to everything. If you're putting your pre-orders down and you don't have Venom, you're probably not doing it right.
Yeah, just write on the thing, Venom, everything.
Just Venom all.
Every
cover of everything with the word Venom in it.
And you'll owe him about $6 million.
I'll take it. Yeah.
We normally don't discuss the omnibuses.
All right, yes,
this one is a really, really cool one, and there's 2 different covers for it.
Yeah, I want to point out, so this is the Wolverine omnibus, and I bought the original first printing of this. I actually bought 2 copies, I'm not going to joke, of the original Venom omnibus. It is about that thick, and when I say it's about that thick, I mean it's just south of 4 inches thick on the spine. This has every major Wolverine story you could want. And for reference, I resold one copy of the first printing of that Wolverine omnibus for $600. By modern standards, the way that Marvel prices omnibuy, this would be a $200 omnibus. But they're reprinting it at the original price. Omnibuy, by the way, is the plural for omnibus, George. Omnibuy. But
omnibuses?
Yeah. But no, seriously, one of the cool things about this is they are reprinting this omnibus. They're reprinting this omnibus at the original price point. It is $100 for that ultra thick hardcover, and they're putting out a new cover. I own this. I bought it twice, and I'm about to buy it a 3rd time for this new cover because you're going to get the classic cover that is actually the original. I want to say that was Frank Miller cover, and now there's a Steve McNiven variant cover on this omnibus that is a replica of that original Frank Miller cover. You know, Wolverine with the 3 claws from the Wolverine #1 from the miniseries in the 1980s. You're getting all that. Do you want? I'm going to let you talk about this.
Well,
Talk
first
about what's
off,
in it.
I'd like to point out I think someone lied to you what 4 inches is. But that said, okay, yeah, it's just cool, and I can't decide if I want the new cover or the original cover. I have all these Wolverine books, so I might have to go with the new one.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that
cool.
It's easy to pull this out and read any of those issues. Do you want to name off the issues that are in this?
All right, so this collects a ton. First off, do you want to discuss what an omnibus is, in case anyone?
Yes, for those of you who are not familiar with an omnibus, it is a Greek term. No, it is a Greek term. It means everything in one binding. This obviously doesn't have everything in one binding, but it has close to everything. This has every key early issue of Wolverine in a single binding. It is a hardcover with a beautiful slipcase. Marvel puts these things out. They can normally cost a fortune. Nowadays, your average omnibus is around $125 minimum to upwards of $200. You're getting this for $100. It is ultra thick. I can't express this enough. This thing is so thick that you're not carrying this around with you. But it contains...
It contains a lot, and we'll get into the issues, but it contains everything from his first appearance to his when he becomes Weapon X, his the Japanese saga where he falls in love with Mariko, going to Madripoor, his battles with Sabretooth and Ogun. This has got everything in it. So let's quickly just go over the titles that are in this. It's collecting Incredible Hulk from 1968, 180.
First appearance.
To 182. As well as 340.
Which is that like classic Todd McFarlane cover, if you don't remember, of Wolverine with the 3 claws out and you see Hulk's face in reflection.
Browsing this, I think they missed one. But, so then it goes to Wolverine 1982, the 1 through 4, which is what is on the cover there, the issue
Chris
number
Claremont,
1. It's his first standalone. And then we got, sorry, I'm losing track. Uncanny X-Men 1981 172 to 173, the Kitty Pryde and Wolverine 6-part miniseries, which was fantastic.
One of my favorite Wolverine ones.
So I think it's one of the first things I bought from you.
We actually just got a restock of it in on there.
Nice. It's very worth getting. I have two sets of it, and I gifted a 3rd one to a friend of mine. Captain America Annual number 8.
Love that story.
Spider-Man vs. Wolverine number 1. Then Wolverine, we jumped to 1988, number 1 through 10. Those are phenomenal. Oh man,
a lot of Sabretooth
battles. Really great covers, great stories. Some of them are hard to find, and when you do find them in great condition, they've gone up in price. Punisher War Journal 1988, number 6 and 7. And then a material from the Marvel Comics Presents, which I just recently purchased this entire run from you. 1988, 1 through number 10, and I think it's my second set of that too, because I have it somewhere else I haven't found.
But the big one, the Weapon X moment.
Wait, did you jump? Where was the Weapon X? The Punisher War General Comics presents. Oh, my bad. I lost track of where I'm at. 72 to 84.
The Weapon X story. That's him running around naked in the Canadian North after he just got adamantium on his skeleton.
His favorite part.
Oh, yeah. I love Wolverine naked.
I actually just got the Weapon X, too.
Yeah, from us?
Actually, some of them from you, but I found the #1 that you were missing at that little Comic-Con that I went to.
Awesome.
It was great. I was like, yes.
I love that we're having this conversation. And we're still not done with everything that's in the omnibus. Keep
no,
going.
It's still going. Marvel Treasury Edition number 26, and the best of Marvel Comics hardcovers, as well as the Marvel Age Annual number 4. The one that's missing, and it's probably because they have X-Men titles in there. Mm-hmm. The Giant Size X-Men number 1.
You know, I want to say that was in the original omnibus, so I want to say that's something they just made a mistake and left out of here.
They had to have left it out. That's so key. It's technically second, because did it come out before 182?
That would be his third appearance
before
fourth appearance.
It's the big appearance because the other ones are cameos.
Yeah,
but
its first appearance is 180. But anyway, yeah, no, I mean it's a big one. This is an absolutely amazing thing for $100. This is an absolute steal. It will be in stores. Actually, this one's really far out because they have to put a lot more effort into printing a hardcover like this and binding and everything. It'll be coming out March 25th of next year.
Any of you are looking for birthday presents for me, my birthday is March 31st.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But yeah, so that one is an extraordinarily advanced order. I'm not going to lie, March 25th, 2020. But
that is phenomenal. I'm ordering
worth
that.
It. Yeah. It is so incredibly worth it. Get your orders in on that. That one's the big one, I think, this week.
That is, yeah, it's the coolest one.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. I mean, now we can stop talking about everything else and nothing else matters. We got Wolverine, which is awesome because out of all those, I think there's only 2 titles that I'm missing. It's the 180 and 181.
Yeah. Let's be really quick on the rest of Marvel and get into the last thing.
Let's get over this.
X-Force number 2, even though you haven't read X-Force number 1, is on final order cutoff. X-Men number 3, even though you haven't read X-Men number 2, is on final order cutoff, but you can get a second printing of X-Men number 1, though we still have first printings available. It's a beautiful new cover. And then, of course, Yondu number 2. Not that you've read Yondu number 1 yet. Get those all in on order. And then let's talk about India. I think there's one big thing to talk about on India, correct?
Well, I know Rise in here, but let's make sure we don't miss anything.
Yeah, obviously I want to bring to the attention that Bloodshot is coming up on its 3rd issue. I know all of you loved that amazing trailer. The 5th part of Archie and Sabrina and Archie 709. All of the Absolute comics that are constantly on FOC and hopefully will come out eventually.
Money Shot's getting a second printing.
Yes, actually that's a big one. Money Shot is having a second printing of number 1. I love Money Shot to death. There are 2 awesome covers available for the second printing. I'm buying them both because I need every cover of Money Shot ever. And if you're like me, you'll want them. One of them is a black bag cover by Chris Burnham, the same gentleman who is bringing us Robert Kirkman's amazing Die, Die, Die.
But if you look closely, the thumbnail doesn't censor anything. So
yeah, it's a naughty cover.
They just figured it's a thumbnail. You can't.
I
really
love
make
the
it
audience off camera just laughing at that.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't gloss over everything because plot is hitting issue number 3, and that's just really heating up. That's going to be a great story.
Yeah.
And then the big one, Rye number 1. This
Rye
series
number
being
1
rebooted. This is one of the coolest Valiant characters that they've ever done. I'm actually just going to skip. I'm going to hold out until they make this movie. I'm skipping the first one.
You'll be missing out. But no, seriously, Rye is great. Rye is the samurai robot of the year 4000. This comic takes place in the year 4002. If you haven't read Rye, I've got all sorts of amazing comics to sell you in trade paperbacks that are very affordable. I want you to read it because it's awesome. Venom fans, Clayton Crane was the original artist for this. But Dan Abnett, the man who brought us the 2008 Guardians of the Galaxy that you oh so love and is responsible for the name of this shop being Knowhere, is going to be writing Rye. It is set in the year 4002. Rye, the samurai robot, is now on Earth in the post-apocalyptic world that Earth has become, dealing with a futuristic Valiant universe and all its horrible abnormalities. It is awesome. I've had the chance to read the first 3 issues. It's fucking amazing. Excuse my language. It is fucking amazing. Yeah.
Language.
Wow, the whole audience went bad
Captain
on that.
America would be so offended.
Yeah. But, yeah, no, I'm super excited about this. Dan Abnett is writing it, the man behind Guardians of the Galaxy. We have Juan Jose Rip, who did Exo Manowar, doing the interior artwork. It has some beautiful covers. That will be actually in shops on November 20th, so that one's actually going a real quick FOC. But make sure you get your orders in on that. I think, personally, the Polina cover
is the one that jumps out at me.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning. And we can actually add this one to the debate on what's a first appearance. Bloodshot is the first appearance in Rye number 0, or is it
Eternal Warrior number 4?
Eternal Warrior number 4.
Yeah, to be 100% honest, I would actually give it to Eternal Warrior number 4, but I don't own an Eternal Warrior number 4, despite the fact that the store has one right over there. I do own a few copies of Rye number 0, so
I'll sell you one.
Okay with that, yeah.
It's graded, too.
Yeah.
He can add a second graded book to his collection.
There we go. Yeah, but Rye actually I think is legitimately going to be an amazingly fun read. So if you're not already on the pull for that, make sure you add yourself to the pull for that. It is going to be awesome.
And then there's some more books, something called Rick and Morty. You've never heard of it.
Yeah, Roku. Roku also another great Valiant one.
Roku. Yeah, that cover B.
Yeah, Sarah and the Royal Stars. We love Vault, so we'll bring it up. But I mean, I think that's really basically it. That's worth talking about, really.
I kind of want to order that. If you scroll back up really quick, this cover's got me so intrigued. A little bit higher. Sorry. Just keep going, keep going. There it is. The Space Riders Vortex of Darkness, number 1.
Actually, we should bring up Space Rider Vortex of Darkness is a Black Mask comic. Yeah.
Black Mask, wicked cool cover. This is like so retro.
Yeah,
I might just buy it.
The art itself screams 1980s.
Yeah, it just is so 80s. I want this on a T-shirt.
The last line of this solicitation is...
We haven't even talked up what the actual book is. You can't see the cover, but it is cool.
You can if you go to previewsworld.com/final orders cutoff, which is a link pinned to the top of the comments.
Yeah, so you want to talk about that last line?
That last line is, it's a suicidal mission into an infinite vortex of blood and death.
I mean, what more do you need? You give me that line, you tell me, you show me this cover. I think I'm ordering this book.
Okay, well, shall we put you down there? George, quick, to the pool. Throw him on there.
To the Batcave.
All right, but those are the comics that are on Final Order Cutoff for Monday, October 4th. Thank you all for watching for this extendedly long and very off-the-hip live stream.
This was more fun than
it was fun.
Trying to be organized.
Yeah, so thank you all for watching. As always, if you have any requests, please leave them in the comments. Message us at Knowhere Games and Comics Facebook page. Email us at knowheregamesandcomics@gmail.com. Or give us a phone call or swing by and put your name on the list like George and several others have wonderfully done. And then, as always, if you want to see all of the covers we talked about as well as everything else we didn't talk about, previewsworld.com/finalordersdue. Link in the comments.
Yep. And remember, if you manage to talk him into believing that 181 is the first appearance of Wolverine, George will buy all your comic books.
There is a great prize right there for you. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you on Wednesday when we do the live stream of all the new comics that come out on Wednesday. New Comic Book Day.
Have a good night.
Nice one, guys.